Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday afternoon. This is Miss Fierce from the Fierce Trade House. As always, this is my weekly analysis. Last week I didn't manage to get to do it. Many apologies for that, but we are back. And I'm going to dive right into it. For those who are here for the first time, usually what I do is I just look at different assets, and I analyze them, and I just, it's kind of my way of preparing for the week. And obviously I love the indices. So we are looking here at US 30. Usually on the indices, I like to trade US 30 and NAS. Yeah, so I'm starting with the US 30 because that's what I really heavily traded last week. As you guys can see, there are some of my setups. I did get caught out on US 30 though. Can't remember where. I think it was, I had taken, this is on what? This was on the 8th of August. Yes, on the 8th of August. I think maybe I deleted the setup, but I had gotten into a sell position. So let me just look at sorry. I got into a sell position around here. Can't remember where exactly. I think around here. I was actually anticipating, I don't know what I was thinking. One of those things, I think that day I overtraded anyway. So I got into a last minute sell position that pulled back. Now I really, really hate, this is US 30. So if you pull back, this is like about 150 pips, points. This is quite something. If you're trading with a good lot size, that can be quite a bit of drawdown. So I actually took a hit around here on the 8th of August. This was one of those trades that you take when you're not supposed to take. So I confess I did overtrade on that day. I had a really good morning, and then into the New York session. After the New York session, I was done. I got into a last minute trade. I was assuming that price would hit this target here. 32,738. It did get there later, but on the 9th. So I just wasn't ready to whether, I wasn't sure if the price, I knew price was going to pull back up. I'd wanted it to first smack this level. It didn't. It pulled back and then consolidated quite some into the London session on the 9th. But I just couldn't withstand it. I was like, hey, emotionally, I wasn't ready. So I just got out, in loss. I took a hit there. And it did come to this level as I had marked it out. And I was like, dang, I should have just held it through the night. But I'm not very good with holding trades overnight. My personality does not allow, especially because I'm an aggressive trader. So I had put in a big position on that trade, and I just figured, let me take the loss, I will recover. And yeah, I did recover the next day after that, as you can see. But when I look at US 30, I'm still bullish on this asset class. I still think we have at the very least, until that 3911 to go. That's about 200 points away, and we could get all the way to 34K. Yeah, 34,139. Like, that's a long target. Now, this I think was the weekly. Was this the weekly? I plotted this on the weekly. I don't know what. Was it the weekly or the daily? Must be the daily. So let's look at the daily. Yeah, this was the daily imbalance. So that's where I'm actually targeting for US 30 to continue pushing up to. And from there, then, wait and see what happens. So still, like, even just looking at how we closed the week last week was really bullish. So there is a potential because we took out liquidity, right? There is potential to pull back, but I'm kind of like still bullish, right? So we'll see how that works out. Let me look at NAS 100. I also traded NAS, I think, on one of my accounts. NAS is looking similar. So you can see we are back at the Sunday open of March, which is so interesting. It's taken us a couple of months to get back to that level, right? There's an imbalance on the daily as well. So that's what I'm thinking, that we are going to see a rejection off of the zones here on the indices, but there's room to push up. And then once we get into the imbalances, and we'll likely then see a pullback, right? A pullback before the continuation. So I'm actually targeting that NAS gets here. Let me look at US30 again. Long term, like long term. So yeah, so we can see this target here. This is 35,537. That's my long target on US30. I'm actually thinking we're gonna go for it. But we may face some resistance at 34,141. So we may see ourselves getting there and then rejecting before we hit that target. So, but I'm really quite bullish on US30 as I am on NAS, and NAS is actually looking more clearer. But I'm targeting this high long term of 151.41.52 and possibly go back all the way to 116,521, possibly, right? Yeah, but we are approaching an imbalance, so we are likely to reject off of that zone before we continue, right? So bullish long term, potential resistance above here in the supply area. This is an order block actually, so that's why I'm anticipating the reaction. Similarly on the same thing on US30. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's look at gold. I don't trade gold really. I don't have the capacity to, because I only trade two accounts. One is a prop account, another one is a smaller personal account. So I can only do so much, and I don't like to trade multiple pairs on. I think this is my old chart stuff. So I'm just going to like do away with all these lines, possibly marked on a lower time frame. Interesting thing is that we may see we're at an interesting level, okay, for gold. We're still pushing up. Let's see the weekly. Sorry, my charts are busy. They're busy like this usually because I teach as well. For anyone who's interested, I do run classes. I'm actually doing my last class of the year. I need to take a break from teaching. I've done 8 back-to-back classes since January. And I've been quite exhausted. So I'm just like, well, this is going to be my last class in September. Should be done by November, and we are out for the year. So if you're interested, know anybody is, please let them know. So gold has been in this range, swing low, swing high. I'm thinking if we do take out this 1873, we're definitely gunning for 2069. But we're still in bearish structure. I still feel like this was just a pullback. I don't see reason for gold to keep rising right now. Okay, I don't think that will happen right now. But if we do, this is interesting though. Sorry, let me just get rid of that. We are There's room to push up, guys. This is bullish structure on the weekly. We've been bullish on gold for several weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, the last 5 weeks consecutively. But I'm not so sure that we're going to continue pushing up just yet. But like I said, if we break above the 1806 level, technically 1880, that's really my room. That's what I'm looking at. So let me just mark that out on the short term. That'll be my short-term target. Near term is 1846. I think we'll get to 1846.61 and continue targeting these zones here. Like I've marked this out. I'm just waiting for the start. Like I really thought that gold would take out liquidity and tap into this fair value gap. It didn't, it pulled back. So I'm just like, it's definitely possibly going to the 1850 level. It may want to take out liquidity above the 1880. So between 1850 and 1880, those are potential swing highs. But near term, yeah, at least 1850. Yeah, if we continue, because we're looking bullish. But I'll wait and see how the market opens, because right now, guys, gold has been bearish. But then, like I said, for the last 5 weeks, it's been very bullish. But I feel like we are at a very interesting level right now. And I just think that even if we push up higher, I'm still, my bias is still bearish long term. So bullish on the short term to 1850 or 1880, but bearish long term, right? So let's look at USD JPY, which I totally do not trade. And this, wow, so this UJ actually bumped into this imbalance. I think this was an imbalance, or yeah. We did bump into that high, we dropped, took out liquidity, pushed up. I still think, very interesting structure. Still think there's room to push lower, right? I think there's still room to push for. So we dropped, pulled back. We may push higher. So let me look at the daily, see how that's looking. We may push higher, but just we are really, we do push higher, we're possibly targeting 136.587, which isn't too bad. 300 pips away, but I feel we could be bearish. Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on this. Thinking we push up to, like I said, 136.53 level, and then maybe see a rejection off of that zone to continue to make higher lows or lower lows, higher lows rather. So this is it, push up, maybe reject off of that, continue to push up, and then maybe come down, attacking liquidity below here. That's what it's looking like. But again, I don't look at UJ so much. So let me look at GBP, JPY to just give me a bit more clarity, because the yen pairs tend to look similar. So GJ has been bearish. And I still think we're bearish on GJ. Honestly, let me look at GBP, USD. could be a retest before we see the continuation. Although, this is so interesting. I feel like we are bullish on GU. I don't know why GJ though is giving me bearish vibes. GJ is giving me very, very bearish vibes, but GBP USD is kind of giving me bullish vibes. Yeah, so we'll see what happens when the market opens, but technically, I'm bullish. I would be bullish on GU. I think this is just a pullback, and we're going to see a continuation. There's a lot of imbalances above here, and there's liquidity resting a lot of it above here. So I'm gunning for that move, right? Let me look at an AUD pair, AUD USD. AUD is also looking bullish. I'm targeting this same weekly target here. I think I put this as a weekly level where there's an imbalance above and an order block. This is still my long target, and you can see we are making our way steadily there. So AUD USD is looking bullish. Let me look at Euro USD, possibly looking almost similar, maybe not. Euro USD is interesting. We did tap into this imbalance, pulled away, but I still think we are going to start seeing it. We have tapped into an order block there, and I think we're still going to continue on higher. So yeah, I think this was a pivot level, a key pivot level. Maybe the end of, I mean, this was like I marked it here. This was the 2002 low, meaning the 2002 low. Unless we break below this swing low here at 1.01365, I'm actually bullish on Euro USD, at least on the short term or on the near term. I feel like there's a lot of activity happening up here. Yeah, but we just took out liquidity. We are pulling back. Once that pullback is done, I'll be looking to look for bullish structure to enter and continue on the upside. So I think, guys, I've looked at basically the major pairs. Yeah. So I think that's it for today. I just want to wish you guys a fantastic trading week ahead. I hope this has been helpful, albeit short. But yeah, let's keep it real, guys. Enjoy your week ahead. Bye.